Hi everyone. Today I'm going to explain the difference between may, might, and could. With that being said, these are the meanings of these modal verbs. We start with may. Sometimes we use may to express probability. An example of that could be, we may go out this Saturday. We also use may to express wishes or hopes. An example of that could be, may the force be with you. We also use may to asking and granting permission. An example of this could be like when we are at a wedding and the father says, you may now kiss the bride. And other example of that could be like the question of, may I help you? We also use may to express grant. Here goes an example with a sentence. He may be the landlord, but he has no right to visit us whenever he wants. Also, we use may to express prohibition. An example of that could be, you may not take photographs in the museum. The next modal verb is might. Like the word may, we also use might to express probability. An example of this could be careful, the floor might be slippery. We also use might to make suggestions. The example of this could be like, you might try parking in the street. We also use might to ask something. The example of that could be like the question, might I borrow some money? We can also use might to express reproaches. A simple example of that could be like, you might at least ask my opinion. Like the word may, we can also use might to express grant. An example of this could be, he might not look very smart, but is actually a genius. Now, the next modal verb is could. We can use could to express a skill in the past tense. An example of this could be like, I could do a handstand when I was a little boy. Like the other two words, we can use could to express a probability. An example of this could be, they could find you if you don't leash the dog. We can also use could to ask for something or make a suggestion. An example of that could be like, could you give me a hand? Also, we use could to asking permission. The example of that could be a question like, could I leave a bit early today? We can also use could to deduct something. The example of that could be like, please pick up the phone. Could be something important. We also use could to express volition or will. Example of this could be like, I couldn't possibly let you handle this situation on your own. So, might, may, and the word could be used to talk about probability. As we say, it is in this case that they can be confused. So, it is useful to studying their differences. We use might, may, and could to talk about the probability of something in the present or in the future, or if we are not sure about something that will happen in the future. An example of this could be like, we could have problems if the traffic is too heavy. There are practically no differences in the meaning in this case. The use of one or the other depends more on the custom. As complementary verbs, the modal verbs don't work without another verb. This other verb always comes after the modal verb, and it comes in the base form. The modal verbs are not conjugated and they do not have time. The words may not or mayn't and may not are used to express a negative probability. However, could not or couldn't is not used in this sense, but we use that word to indicate that something is impossible. It is also not usual to use the contraction of may not. An example of all of these could be like, there couldn't be any available seat today. It mayn't be as bad as they say. Many people may not willing to commute for an hour. By last, the interrogation. We can use these three verbs with the structure like the modal verb plus a subject plus the verb be plus a verb in a base form. An example of all of these could be like, might she be interested, or may she be interested, or could she be interested. We can also add the words do you think. An example of this could be like, do you think she might be interested, or do you think she may be interested, and do you think she could be interested. With all of that being said, these were the differences of these three modal verbs. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you learned something new. See you!